10,322. 10,322. 10,322. That's how many families lost loved ones due to drunk drivers in 2012 alone. Another 290,000 people were estimated to be injured due to the same fault in the United States. Every time someone drinks and drives, innocent people are at risk. So many people die every day, every year, yet people still make the decision to drive and operate a motor vehicle knowing they have been drinking. This has to stop. So often people think that this can't or it won't happen to them until it does. Today I will share with you some alarming statistics, and I will also share stories to illustrate how serious this continues to be in our country. This drunk driving has to stop. More than 1.4 million drivers were arrested in 2009 for driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Imagine if each arrest was linked to a fatal crash. Imagine if it was your loved one who was on their way to work. Imagine if it was you who was driving home from a party drunk. In the United States, the blood alcohol level limit is 0.08%. According to experts, experienced drivers, and I'm just out for my bestie's birthday drivers, with the blood alcohol content of 0.8% or higher, all experience and show signs of impaired driving ability. This includes the inability to steer at a normal rate, to hit the brakes at a normal rate, to process visual concepts such as signs, blinker lights, exits at the same rate. Per the National Institute for Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, people with the 0.8% blood alcohol content typically have poor muscular coordination as well. This makes it harder to detect danger. It also makes it to where the person driving has impaired judgment, impaired self-control, and impaired reasoning. Have you ever thought you aren't that drunk? Well, since the amount of alcohol consumed, the height, the weight, and the gender of the person, and the amount of food that you had to consume at that point are all variable facts, it's hard to say exactly when you have reached or exceeded your legal limit. What about the lives lost? What about those changed forever? According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, on average, every 51 minutes, someone is killed by a drunk driving crash. What if I told you that Americans take 233 billion trips in a car per year? What if I said one of every 2,000 of those trips are with someone behind the wheel that's driving under the influence? 1 of 2,000, that's not a lot. What if I said every 1/3 of the driving what if I said 1/3 of every traffic death involves a drunk driver? Per Phil Mushnick of the New York Post, in December of 2012, Dallas Cowboy defensive tackle Josh Brent went out with a friend. Jerry Brown was part of the practice squad for the Dallas Cowboys. Brent and Brown left the club at 4 a.m. and got into Brent's Mercedes. Brent was driving between 110 and 134 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. He hit a curb, flipped the car. After being tested on the scene, Brent's blood alcohol content was 0.18%. That's over twice the legal limit. He was later convicted of intoxication manslaughter. He killed his friend, his teammate, that night. I'm pretty sure he too thought it couldn't happen to him, especially since Brent had previously served 60 days for driving while under the influence charge on a suspended license. In the earlier part of 2014, this photo was taken. This is all the club members and friends of Ja'Cory Allen Perry. That picture was taken at his viewing. His procession for his funeral had some 200 motorcycles and stretched about 2.5 to 3 miles long. He was a U.S. Army veteran, a husband, a son, a father, a brother, and a friend. The careless actions of a drunk driver with a previous DUI conviction cost him his life. This holiday season, a space at our table will be empty for the first time. The sad reality is, it will remain empty forever. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about $59 billion per year. The CDC reports it costs the U.S. more than $59,000 per year for alcohol-related crashes. This includes the $33 billion lost in lifetime work due to these types of crashes. This also includes the $18 billion in lifetime medical costs related to the injuries sustained due to these types of crashes. If we look at it on a grand scale, $59 billion seems so surreal. I mean, come on, $59 billion, that's more than some of us can count. But what if we look at the smaller pieces that make up the cost? You may think twice about drinking and driving. In first-time cases, you're required generally to stay in a tank for 4 hours to sober up. And your fines on your first offenses range from $200 to $1,000. Not close to the $59 billion we discussed earlier. After the first time, though, the fines and the laws get stiffer. The types of charges increase, as well as your fines and the amount of time you are required to volunteer and or attend classes that you have to pay for. According to a book called Crime and Punishment in the United States, driving privileges of a driver who accumulates excessive numbers of DUI arrests are also suspended. A new form of punishment that is gaining favor in America is the forced installation of an ignition lock device that allows law enforcement officials to shut down drivers' vehicles under certain conditions set forth by the court. So, get your pencil and paper ready. And imagine a $75 installation fee and about $2.50 a day. No, not for your cable, not for your coffee, not for your Netflix, not for your Chick-fil-A sandwich, but for your ignition interlock device. Oh, by the way, did I mention the fee for the rental of the device? I didn't. Try another $50 to $100 a month. I did the math. That's on a low end, $1,587.50 a year, and on the high end, that's $2,187.50. Again, that's just a device. Good luck paying those court costs. Everyone deserves to enjoy themselves and have a good time. People of legal drinking age are legally allowed to drink. I plead with you to do so intelligently. Designate a sober driver. Call a cab. Stay the night at a friend's house. No one should have to bury a loved one or deal with paralyzation, a loss of limbs, or any injuries sustained due to bad decisions made due to drinking and driving. This holiday season, make a conscious decision not to drink and drive. Thank you.